But we know a little bit more of the minutiae of what actually happened in Kunduz and when the US forces decided to strike, not necessarily strike that hospital intentionally, but strike in that location. In terms of what happened on the ground, according to General John Campbell, he's the commander of US forces in Afghanistan. It was the Afghan forces who were fighting the Taliban forces in the vicinity of this hospital compound, not necessarily inside of it. They then asked for close air support, and that request went through. US forces who were nearby, these are US forces who are supposed to train and assist, are not necessarily supposed to be involved in combat. They then asked for that airstrike. That airstrike happened and obviously hit the wrong target. So according to General John Campbell, the responsibility lies somewhere within the US chain of command, because the decision to strike came from there. He says that, quote, the hospital was mistakenly struck. Of course, the big question still remains: who gave those coordinates to the US Air Force? Was it the Afghans or was it the Americans? Because remember, those GPS coordinates are given by the big charities like MSF, Médecins Sans Frontières, to the forces who are fighting nearby. This hospital obviously should never have been struck. General John Campbell won't say much more about this, simply because there are several investigations underway at this point. There are 3 of them altogether, one by the Department of Defense here in Washington, the other one by NATO, and the third one by the Afghan armed forces, but that is together with the US armed forces. In other words, the US military is involved in all 3 investigations, and that certainly won't please MSF, Médecins Sans Frontières, because they have been calling for an independent investigation. That certainly is not the case right now.
Thank you very much indeed, Philip. Philip Crowther in Washington.